Success isn't just about setting lofty goals, but by mastering the tiny day-to-day actions. Learn how to overhaul your social media game by applying these three principles by making it more obvious, attractive, and satisfying. If you're curious about the origin of these concepts, be sure to tune in as we decode these secrets from a world-renowned best-selling book in this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Hi, friends. I'm Katie Brinkley, and you're listening to a Rocky Mountain Marketing Quickcast. These bite-sized episodes are released every Thursday and are going to give you the latest news and tips in the world of social media that are happening right now. Let's dive into today's Quickcast episode. Welcome back to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. And today I'm going to take us a little bit in a different direction. So I recently read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I feel like that's all the buzzword. Everyone out there that I know has been reading this book, talking about this book. So I read it. And I have to say, it's changed my life. And if you've read this book, then you're probably sitting in your car, if you're driving right now, nodding your head, or if you're going for a walk, you probably said, yep, this is a great book. I have yet to see anybody who has said, it was just okay. If you haven't read it yet, we're going to dive into that book in this week's episode. And this is the New York Times bestselling author, James Clear, has really hit the nail on the head about the power of small habits and why they are game changers for any entrepreneur, really, anybody that's in the world of business, especially those that are looking to leverage social media for business growth. And you might wonder why I'm talking about habits when I typically am talking about business strategy, social media marketing, email marketing. And here's the reason why. Here's the catch. James Clear convincingly argues that it's not about setting those high and mighty goals, but about improving our daily systems. This philosophy rings particularly true for social media marketing, and consistency, creativity, connection building, all of that can help shape the trajectory of your business. And all of those are extremely important for social media. Now, I'm going to tell you, I struggle with journaling. I struggle with, setting out a to-do list. I know all the things in my head that need to be done, and I just do them. I have a hard time not sitting down and focusing in on the little goals. For example, last year I said, I want to write a book. And so I wrote a book, but then I didn't send it to the editor. It took me about 3 months just to send them the book I had already written. Then I sent it to them. They gave me back the edits, and it sat in my cloud drive for about 3 months before I opened it again. It was because the goal of writing a book was there, but I was having such a hard time with the micro goal of just popping in and doing one chapter a day or making these edits now or anything like that, because I had this lofty goal and I was just thinking, I have to get the book done and I don't have time to get the book done today. So it just kept getting pushed further and further onto the back burner. So this is where you have to have those micro goals. And I want to talk about the way that these micro goals have really changed my life and my business. Atomic Habits is one of my favorite books. I've listened to it on the drive to Steamboat, where is my favorite mountain town, to Steamboat and back. I've read the book. I've made my husband read it. Anyone that will listen, including you podcast listeners, I'm telling to read the book. But if you don't have time to read it, or if you still need to be convinced, I'm going to dive into the top 5 takeaways that I had from reading Atomic Habits. So the very first one is to focus on systems, not goals. Number 2 is to make it obvious. Number 3 is make it attractive. Number 4 is make it easy. And number 5 is make it satisfying. And I'm going to talk about how these principles can supercharge your social media game and your business. So let's focus on the first one. Focus on systems, not goals. And this might sound counterintuitive to some of you, but don't we all set goals of like, I want to reach this amount of followers, or I just want to have this many likes, or I just want to get this many views. But James Clear emphasizes that what we need to change are the systems that lead to those results. Instead of obsessing over 10,000 followers or reaching, an X amount of followers a month, you need to work on producing high quality content on a regular, consistent basis, or by engaging more with your audience. The followers will come as a byproduct of your improved systems. And I talk about this regularly, whether you're doing the my 4-post social media strategy and posting 4 times a week, or if you have a rough month or rough week and you miss your posts for the week and you're not able to get anything out, how can you still engage with your audience and be connected to them so that they will want to come and follow you? Number 2 is make it obvious. And this principle is about making the habits you want to develop crystal clear. In a social media context, this might mean scheduling a specific time every day for your content creation. So actually sitting down at the computer and creating that content, or audience engagement. This is what I do. So Fridays are my business building day. I'll create content, I'll schedule it out, I'll be doing engagement. I've talked about this on many podcasts. My social media engagement time is either lying in bed at night, right before bed, before I open up a book for 10 minutes, or when I'm in the carpool lane waiting to pick up my daughters from school. That's my social media engagement time. I have that built into my day. How is this obvious? And it's using these kind of techniques of habit stacking, where you pair a new habit with an existing one. So again, for me, I do my social media engagement while I'm waiting to pick up my kids from school. If I want to pick up my kids from school, I need to do my engagement first. And you might say, well, Katie, that seems a little extreme, but no, I've gotten into the habit of, okay, I need to leave the office now so I can get into line and park so I can do my engagement before the bell rings. It's that habit stacking. If this isn't resonating with you, it might be immediately after your morning coffee, you spend 20-minute brainstorming different social media post ideas, getting research on some trending audio that you want to use. So once you get into the habit of, okay, I just finished my coffee, now I'm going to do this, you've built out that habit. That's habit stacking. The third takeaway is to make it attractive. And the more attractive that a habit is, the more likely it is that you will stick to it. And this can involve creating, visually pleasing workspace for your social media planning, but lighting a candle or putting on some nice brown noise or white noise, some music that you like, something that you can reward yourself for consistently posting. You could even pair your habit with something you enjoy, like listening to your favorite podcast, like Rocky Mountain Marketing, while you're creating content. It's all about making the process enjoyable. So we covered 3 of the 5 takeaways from James Clear's Atomic Habits so far. And I'm going to move on to the 4th point now. Make it easy. The easier that a habit is, the more likely it is that you will stick with it. So in the context of social media, automate and simplify whenever possible. Use a scheduling tool like Loomly. You can get that with my affiliate link, katiebrinkley.com/Loomly. My favorite. You can use a scheduling tool to plan your posts in advance. You can use templates and create templates through Canva to make common types of content so that you're ready. All you have to do is just repurpose that template time and time again. The goal is to reduce friction and make it as simple as possible to stick with your new routine. And the 5th and final principle from Atomic Habits that I walked away with is to make it satisfying. And this ties back to the fundamental principle of human psychology. We're more likely to repeat behavior if it feels good. So take the time to celebrate your wins, however small they may be. Did you stick to your posting schedule this week? That's a celebration. A systems of rewards can go a long way in solidifying your new habits. And you might be thinking, that all sounds great, but how do I keep track of all my progress? And James Clear actually advocates for a method called habit tracking. And this method allows you to visually see your progress, providing motivation and satisfaction. And it can be as simple as marking an X on your calendar each day you stick to your social media routine. I actually got James Clear's journal, and I can put out what my new habits are, what my goals are, and I put a little X next to every day that I do them. There's something to say about being able to check off a box when you get something done. All right, so let's kind of recap here the basis of Atomic Habits, and it focuses on building better systems, not just goals. Make your habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. And remember, the key to having success on social media is consistency and always striving to improve. These principles provide the framework that achieve just that. And I hope that you take these principles from Atomic Habits. I hope you read the book, but I hope you take these principles from Atomic Habit to heart and apply them to your own social media marketing efforts, to your own business. For social media, it is micro goals. Don't focus in on all the big vanity metrics. Don't focus in on just reaching 10,000 followers and you're right now at 10, because it's going to seem hard to get there. Focus in on the micro goals. And I promise you that it's going to make you feel more rewarded in the end. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Make sure to subscribe so that you can continue navigating the world of entrepreneurship. And I'd love to hear from you. Please leave the show a review and connect with me on social media. You can find me on Instagram at @IamKatieBrinkley or connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you're ready to start making some sales on social media, be sure to grab my free guide to selling in the DMs without being spammy. You can get that at katiebrinkley.com. Let's keep taking your marketing to all new heights.